Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. You know, the other day I was talking to a client. I had such a lovely session with her, and she was telling me that as she's gotten older, that she's really having a midlife crisis to what she was discovering about herself. And it got me thinking, and I said to her, I don't think it's a midlife crisis. Take the word crisis out and put midlife awakening. She says, ooh, I like that. And you know what? I did too. Think about when we think about midlife crisis, we think about men that get the sports cars and they suddenly have affairs. That's not the kind of midlife crisis I'm talking about. I'm talking about as we get older, things suddenly make sense, or maybe the things that we never had guts to do. And as we're approaching our next chapter, we suddenly have the guts and the will to say, you know what? I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm going to incorporate more of this. You start to realize your aha moments. And that's why I call it a midlife awakening. So when you have these moments, cherish them. But more and more people are having them, and I applaud you for having them. But I don't look at it as a midlife crisis. You know, many times things suddenly start to make sense where maybe most of our lives it didn't. But we had to take these experiences in what we had to go through to get to the other side, as far as finally realizing, taking a step back and saying, I get it now. Really. And that includes me. Things that I always let pass and let go, and people taking advantage, blah, 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 whatever it is. Now it's like I say, no, I've incorporated limits and balances to everything, because I've noticed the more limits and balances that I put into my life has gotten better. It's gotten actually easier. We as human beings tend to make our lives 100 times harder than it needs to be, because we're people pleasers, or for those out there that are really the people pleasers. And you know what? You got to have a back and forth, a give and take. But when you start to get older, you start to realize what really is important. You don't want to make the same mistakes, and everything is in alignment. And that's when you say, okay, now I've got my midlife awakening. I'm getting, everything makes so much sense, and I'm really getting the whole big picture. So pat yourself on the back. Think about the things that you are no longer settling for, the things that you are changing up, and because of everything that's coming your way, much more better. That is going to make a whole big difference by itself. By the way, the things that you thought were important when you were younger and no longer are, that's another big awakening. So think about those things, start implementing these things a lot better in your life. It's going to make all the difference in the world. I kid you not, it really, really does. Sometimes saying no equals your freedom. So you don't have to say yes to everything. If you don't feel like doing something, if it's not for you, then you say no, and that's okay. All right? So until then, subscribe to my Instagram, my Facebook, and of course, my favorite, my YouTube. More videos to come. Have a great rest of the week, and remember the power of no. All right? You take care of yourself. Bye-bye.